cocinando en el laboratorio. Yo vine del lodo, ahora quieren fotos. Y vamos por todo, cocinando en el lab.
Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the GMRT Experience. I believe this is episode 6 or 7 that I have guests. Can't remember now, but you'll see here soon. But anyways, I'm over here today with my boy Vic. I'm actually very excited for this episode. He's bringing something to the table that we haven't heard before. So I'm excited about this pod, and I'll let you introduce yourself, bro.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you as always. We'll start right at the very beginning of it. I'm a mindset coach, and I focus on the mind, beliefs, trauma, issues, whatever, and everything. And the reason I got into this is because I started noticing in my own life, mind you, I've lived a fucked up life. And if this is explicit, I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can keep it real.
All right. So I'm originally from California. First-gen American, immigrant parents. My whole life was fucked up. And you start noticing little patterns and shit popping up in your life. Why am I doing this? Why am I hurting myself, hurting other people? You start diving deep into those questions. And it's like, oh, because I believe something. I believe that I don't deserve this, or I believe that I should cause pain because your brain's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I got into the very field that helped me to figure out what my own shit was, which is mindset, beliefs, desires, heart, and all that. And really figuring out why and how we operate the way we do, the ways that we could change it, and how we could really change our lives in a very dramatic, very, very different way, just with little, small, simple changes. And I got to tell you, man, your mind is a lot more powerful than people can even realize or comprehend.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd about it. I'm a full-on nerd about it. It's my passion and my purpose. So that's what I do. I help individuals, groups, couples figure out what's going on. I help them realize what their belief is at the core of it that's causing their current pain. And then I help them to change that belief to make it something that they truly want. And so that way they can change the course of their life, their direction, their trajectory by a simple decision. Wow. And you'd be surprised at how the smallest of simplest of things change radically the way you live and see your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued because I'm very passionate about like mindset things and getting better and all of that. You as a coach, how do you get yourself out of funks? How do you because the coach something like, because the way dude, I have employees and sometimes I gotta keep it real with them. I'm like, bro, like I'm dealing with some shit, like I'm just barely keeping it cool here with you guys, but I'm struggling on certain things. So you as a coach, what do you do? What methods do you have to help you stay on that path?
Right. It's a solid question, dude, because a lot of times we coaches really fuck it up when we get into our own heads. Like, here's what I always say. Every coach has a coach.
Yeah.
Because at some point we're so in our shit that we lose track of all the things that we teach people. Like, hey, why are you feeling this way? Take a step back mentally. Look at it. So when I start getting into it, and, I'm in a funk, I started asking myself, okay, why am I feeling this way? And I practice what I preach. So I always tell people, start questioning yourself with why. Why do I feel this way? Or why am I doing this negative thing? So then I dive in deep. I'm like, okay, is it this? Is it this? No, it's this. I'm pissed off. Okay, why am I pissed off? Because I got disappointed. Why did I choose to get disappointed? And that's where I start coaching myself, saying, I made a choice in somewhere in this whole process that led me to being in a funk. What choice did I make to be in a funk, and why? And then that's where I start saying, okay, this is what I was expecting or hoping or wanting. Came out this way, and so instead of pivoting and dealing with it, I just wanted to sit there and be miserable. And I chose to be pissed.
Wow.
And that happens 99% of the time with all of us. Wow. We have some expectation, some desire of what we want, what actually happens, and then we decide instead of pivoting and adjusting, we're like, well, fuck this. And fuck the other person or whatever it is, the situation, and we sit with it.
Shit.
It's all a choice.
Dude, you know what's funny? Like, it's funny that you're bringing that up because, like, this week I've been dealing, like, not this week, but the last few days, I've been dealing with this situation on this girl that I'm dating. Mm-hmm. And we were talking before we started shooting, like, that I like to observe.
Right.
Observing helps me understand people. I can see, okay, what type of person am I dealing with? And it's a curse and a blessing, because then you start overanalyzing things. And there's been certain things that I've seen this week that I'm like, man, it just pissed me off. I'm like, why she? And then I had to literally tell myself, why am I freaking pissed? I still haven't figured it out.
Okay.
But you're saying that, and I'm like, man, I need to like go on a walk and really figure this out, dude, because like, whatever people's actions, it don't matter. That's their actions. It's up to us the way we take their actions. Right. And are we gonna let that affect us, or figure out why is that affecting us?
Right. You want to dive into it?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Why not?
All right. So, what was the first thing that pissed you off this week about her, or with her, related to her? We don't have to tell names or specifics.
Yeah. So it's stupid, bro. So it's this picture that she posted on Instagram.
Okay. Was it kind of like a risque photo?
What is that?
Like she's showing more cleavage or boobs or
yeah, I saw that and I'm like, God damn it. And it's not that I'm not comfortable. It's that I've dated girls like that in the past, and it triggers something. It made me realize that I haven't worked on that yet.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, how do I work on this?
Okay. So you kind of know it was a trigger because of some experience in the past.
Yes.
What was the first experience that you had where you started feeling that way, where that trigger created itself?
But pain.
Okay.
It was pain and disappointment.
Okay. Disappointment, why?
See, I feel like it's because I'm expecting certain people to behave a certain way. Mm-hmm. And I can't control that.
Right. So with that, you have your expectations, and this other person's operating differently. So the question comes down to, did you ever have that conversation about expectations and alignment? No,
not yet. But here's the thing. I thought, like, I'm going to. Mm-hmm. I'm not ready to have it yet because I'm still processing it.
Right.
Like, so when I have that conversation, it's in a loving and caring way.
Right.
So, but yeah, dude, it's very, it's very, like, at least to me, it's been very interesting to see that, a lot of traumas that we feel like we overcome, we haven't. Until something happens, you're like, fuck, here it is again.
Yep. So I love triggers because when you break it down, a trigger is a behavior based off of an emotional response or decision. So we'll use me as an example. In high school, I'm adopted, right? So in high school, I saw a lot of kids making fun of kids with special needs. My youngest sister in my adopted family has Down syndrome. So my first reaction would be, fuck, I'm going to beat this guy to living shit. And I threw a whole bunch of guys into trash cans. I beat the crap out of them. Fast forward a couple of years, and I started asking myself, okay, why do I instantly get angry in this situation? So I did a little introspection. And I realized, I get angry for her to protect her because I never had that in my life growing up. Before I got adopted, I never had anyone to protect me. So what did I do? I did exactly what I would have wanted for myself from somebody else. I became the hero for her because I never had a hero to protect me. So I created the behavior, the response for what I severely lacked in my life, growing up and doing all sorts of things. So I've also experienced, risque photos and all that shit. And for me, it was always the whole, that's not how I live my life. That's not the values that I have. I don't post photos about personal things or anything like that. Like, my brand is my business. You won't see me posting about my family or anything like that because that's intimate to me. Intimate shit is not social media shit.
Yeah.
So values alignment, some other people might see differently. It's like, okay, where do we line up on the values that we have? Where do we not line up? And what compromises can we make?
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, you have to be aligned up with your values and you have to live with you. And if you're not okay with yourself because something's mismatched or out of alignment, you're the only person in misery. The other people don't give a shit. So that's where having those conversations and seeing, do you guys truly match up values-wise? Because it could be that you don't. And this is a good, early indicator of like, okay, this value I hold very intimate. And so because of that, I don't do that kind of behavior or do that kind of action. You do. Do you see it differently? Do you have those conversations?
Yeah. When you're helping people, especially right now with what's going on in the world, what's the biggest common thing that you're seeing out there with clients and people that are reaching out for help?
I would say the biggest thing that I've witnessed so far in the last, say, 6 months to a year is that a lot of people operate and have been operating their life with somebody else's beliefs about them. I'll give you an example. I have a client who, for like 30, 40 years, had been operating exactly like how his parents told him to. You're supposed to work like this, you're supposed to work like this, you're supposed to suffer, you're supposed to do this, and he's miserable in his career. So I asked him, okay, well, how would you define it, or how would you tell somebody that you would coach them? How would you tell them to live life and do business? He said, I do this, I do this, I do this. I said, okay, so why don't you operate just like that? Coach yourself. Be your own coach. You define how you want to operate life.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how to live your life. I can only tell me how to live my life. Now, if you choose to believe what I say, then we need to have a conversation, because I shouldn't have that negative impact on you. I should always be supporting and uplifting you, empowering you to be the best version of yourself as you define it. Because my definition is based on my perceptions and experience. Your definition is based on your perceptions and experiences. So how dare I put force my worldviews onto you to try to change you, when a simple conversation could have that, instead of saying, no, you need to do this, you need to do this. And that's what every single person is operating by. Somebody told them something about themselves. They believed it, and they made it the way they operate and handle life.
Wow.
And that is a tragedy. We're living lives based on other people's miserable definitions when we can create our own happily ever after.
Wow. Dude, that's so interesting, because it's true right now that that's what's happening, like in the world. I'm on this spiritual journey right now. It's been, 8 months probably. And one of the biggest thing that I've been open to is that realizing that everybody has gone through their own experiences, and whatever actions or things they do and say, it doesn't mean that they're bad people if I don't agree with them. Everybody just went through their own stuff, and then they're already been conditioned to believe that. And I've noticed, even with my own self, the moment I started realizing that, even my business grew, because then I wouldn't get upset to one of my employees or anything like that. I could have a conversation and be like, hey, why is this way, and then, dude, it changed the whole game for me.
Oh, absolutely. When you take control of how you look at life, that's when you change reality. Now, if you wanted to talk about how you can literally shape the world that you live in, you dive into the whole science of quantum physics, spirituality, and all that. I love reading in the Bible, because it talks about miracles and how Jesus was in one city one day and another city another day and all this shit. That guy shaped reality. He helped change so many people's lives and impacted them through miracles and things like that, because he was so devoted to just living and walking his path.
Wow.
That reality said, okay, the powers of the universe will create the life and the vision that you have. You embrace all the shit, you let all the negativity go, and you keep driving forward. That's how you change the world. So you're changing the world every day by making that decision, by focusing on not the negative, but the positive. You're seeing beyond the person's mistakes.
Yeah.
You're seeing the potential in them, and you're feeding that. Not the whole, I'm going to cut you down because you fucked up.
Yeah.
So props to you for doing that.
Yeah, no, it's very it's empowering when you're able to look at things in that aspect, because then you can apply that to everything in life. Dude, I've countless of days that like a lot of things go wrong, and I just look at okay, what's the good out of this,
Right.
and then that pain is just less now. When before I would let it dwell for forever, bro. There was mistakes that I would let him dwell for years, bro.
Yep.
Years. Now I think about like, dude, I wasted years on something so stupid.
And only you remember it. Nobody else does.
Exactly.
Yep. We are so trained to live in our own shit, man. Because our parents teach us that. It's like, oh, you got to remember and not to. It's like, dude, just let it go. The sooner you let something go, not only do you just feel more peace, but that energy that was holding it in your life is brought back to you. So if you're operating at 80% for the last 5 years, and all you got to do is forgive somebody, you get 10% energy back. You're now operating at 90%. Imagine how much more powerful you are with extra juice in your tank. Because energetically, you just said, I'm letting it go.
So good. So good. Dude, that's really good. Like, to everybody that's hearing this, like what Vic is saying is you can literally apply that to everything in your life, and it will change your mindset, the way you look at the world, the way you treat people. Like to me, bro, it's like I'm always a firm believer, and Jim Rohn talks about this. Like, you have to work on yourself harder than you work at your job, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like always do that personal development that's making you better and shifting your mindset. Because, dude, I've even noticed, like, I've tested, like, we have a coach, Sean Whalen. He talks about testing. Dude, I'll test anything. And I'll test, like, when I'm on a bad mood, like, if I prolong that feeling, other things start going wrong.
Yep.
And then I'm like, there's been times that I'm in that shitty ass mood, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna test this. I'm gonna keep being upset, and I just do it to fuck with it, to see, okay, is this thing real? Bro, bad shit keeps happening.
Yep.
And then I'll be all right. Now let's switch it up. And then I'll start putting good music. Like, I'll start changing my environment. Walk the dog, bro. And like, everything's happy. I'll get a text, like a good text or something. And you're like, man, like this is cool.
So you want me to blow your brain a little bit?
Oh, I love that. Let's go.
Okay. So energy operates on a frequency, right? So when we're in the negative emotions, we're in a lower frequency, which means we're resonating, and we're the law of attraction. It's not you think it, it's you're acting on the thought. Just by simply focusing on this one thought that came in, it's like, you could stay pissed. Okay, I'm going to stay pissed. And you actively stay pissed. You're angry. Well, the law of attraction kicks in when you're acting on it, which means you'll start seeing things that are drawing closer to you energetically, that lower frequency. So you can't move on until you stop focusing on that negative thing. You have to let it go, because your brain can only focus on about 40 kilobits of information. And that's a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. We're bombarded 40 million kilobits of information every second of the day. Everything we're taking in, I forget the number, it's like 40 million something. But we're taking in a whole lot of information just through our eyes, nose, ears, our feelings.
Yeah.
But we can only focus on 40. So from 40 million to 40, that's a very drastic difference in all the information we're getting in and the thing that we focus on. So imagine the frequency, the energy that you're feeling when you're angry and pissed, that you're only focusing on 40 bits of information. That's just anger, being pissed at something. Well, then the next thing you focus on is along that same frequency, that same energy, pissed. Imagine when you're making that shift and you start focusing on the happy things, the positive things. You're on a higher frequency.
Yeah.
So you're noticing things energetically at a higher frequency. Here's where it gets interesting. When we operate at a lower frequency, the energy of the earth as a collective lowers. But when we focus on a higher frequency of energy, the frequency of the earth increases, and we negate the negative energy of another person or a whole series of people. There's a whole math behind it. A person operating out of love, they're focused on love, their energy is love, negates, and don't quote me on this because I don't remember the exact number, they negate 70,000 people's sad energy. One person operating out of love neutralizes, gets rid of that negative energy that 70,000 people have when they're sad. Now imagine you have a whole group of people operating out of love, the positive energy impact that it has all across the world. Just by changing the frequency, the what they're focusing on, you can make literally a world-changing difference.
Dude, that's so good. It's so good because, at least I've noticed when I'm operating at that good frequency, man, like, life is good. Mm-hmm. Life is good. Things are good. You're grateful. Mm-hmm. You're loving. You're caring. You're like, think about, like, dude, I'll be thinking about people's feelings out of fucking nowhere. I'll be like, dude, how does that person feel? Like, I'm like, and dude, it's a beautiful thing, man, because, like, especially on this DNA that we live in right now, bro, like, I feel like the world needs that, man. Like, you go out to the world, there's just like, I mean, my world, everything's good, bro. I don't even know what's going on because I've understood this I've been a student of this frequency and all of this for about almost 2 years now. Mm-hmm. And it changed my life because I started realizing, okay, I can control this. That's what I'm even more aware of people who I bring into my world.
Right.
And then you start seeing that, okay, now I understand why some of these high-level individuals that we see that running these successful companies are happier. That's why you start seeing why their circle is very small. Mm-hmm. I used to think, like, why? And now I'm like, bro, now I freaking get it, bro. Like I can tell you, like, I can count with one hand the people that I text, I call, like, on a consistent basis, because, like, it doesn't mean that only those 5 people are good. It just means that you're more cautious with who you bring. Mm-hmm. But if you bring other people in, you tend to start bringing the same type of people, like, with those good energies and vibration.
Oh yeah, it's like a magnet, where when you're in a good vibe, you're bringing all the other people with a good vibe, and you just filter out the other folks. Mm-hmm. I did the same thing, man. My circle, very small. People from college and high school days, love them from a distance. Mm-hmm. Because what I'm building here, what I'm working towards, getting to that next level, they're not contributing to it. They're taking energy away. So they're on the boundaries. The circle gets smaller because those people are lifting not only me, but each other up. And that's where the power of the circle comes in, because it compounds. Mm-hmm. Your energy helps, we'll say, James's in the group. James produces a product that helps your product. And that's, compound effect. 1 + 1 is now 11, not 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Dang, you just said something very important. So, you're talking about, like, in your circle, everybody has certain energy, and that energy helps the other. One thing that I'm about to start here soon is, like, it's like, I don't want to call it like a mastermind, because I'm not bringing people together to teach them something, but I want to start something that 15, 20 people that I gather them one time a month and bring them over here to GMRT, and we just kind of, like, have dinner. We talk about business, life. Maybe we have breakout sessions that maybe somebody's teaching about crypto, or now we're going to teach you what's going on in the marketplace over here. And because I'm a firm believer that as you keep growing and elevating yourself, you got to keep finding those like-minded people, because there's always another level. Mm-hmm. And that missing piece that is going to take you to the next level, sometimes you're thinking, you don't know what you're missing, and that piece could come out of nowhere, and it could be that guy that you never thought of even talking about. Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, it's such a powerful thing to bring a group of people together and just let chemistry happen.
Exactly.
Magic. That's what I love, man.
Keep going, bro. You good.
I'm trying to build that up where I offer people my experience, my expertise, my perspective on a lot of things. Because who's to say that I can't, just with a simple comment, have a positive impact in someone's life with their business and it flourishes? Mm-hmm. When you win, that's me winning because I'm helping you win. That's how I define winning. People always say, oh no, I got to win by this. No, it's when you can get a group of people together and they all leave better than when they got there in the first place. That's winning. That is success. That's energy and that's exchange and that's just chemistry and it's wonderful. So I'm excited for your mastermind, dude.
Thank you, bro.
I'm gonna hear stories about it. I'm gonna be like, hell yeah,
dude. I'm gonna invite you too, bro. Cause recently I've been thinking about sometimes we think like you have a coach or somebody that you look up to, and that person, that coach that you're looking up to, most of the time, they're like maybe 10, 15 steps ahead of you. And what if you focus in your circle, the person that's 1-2 steps ahead of you?
Right.
Why do I need to go for the home run if I can go get a single?
Yep. And singles still get you on base.
Yeah. So at least I'm already in the playing field. I'm already playing the game. I'm not looking at people. Now I'm in the game. So, dude, that concept changed my mind because then now I'm meeting with, especially starting the podcast. That's one of the beautiful things that I love about what I'm doing right now is that I get to bring all of my friends that are at the same level. Some are like 2-3 steps ahead of me. Some are a little bit behind, but I'm bringing, it's proximity, very close to me right now. And dude, I'm learning so much, like getting so much game. And I'm not saying I don't get game from high level people, but it's like this is a different type of game that I can implement right now.
Right. Oh, well. Okay, so I'm along the same lines with you because I always look at the big coaches out there online, like Andy Frisella, Sean Whalen.
Yeah.
I have a couple friends that they're always like, hey, how do I get to be like Andy Frisella today? I'm like, bro, Andy Frisella, this isn't a plug or a shout out or any bash. This is just fact. He didn't do this overnight. He's 30 steps ahead of where you're at right now in life. Learn to master the one thing that you're struggling with right now to get you to step 2, step 3. And that's the power of the group. If there are people there that are like 2 or 3 steps ahead of you, they can get you to 2 or 3 steps out farther than where you were before. And that's powerful. You don't need to go for home runs, like you were saying. Singles, doubles, triples. You're still on base, and you're still going to run a home. That's winning still. It's the small shit that adds up. I had a one-on-one prospect call with somebody. In an hour, he told me this. He said, in an hour, I gained more value than in 20 years of self-development, going to Tony Robbins events, going to all these other coaches events, because they're all teaching me to go for home runs. And all you're telling me to do is be 100% at being 1% better. It's like, yeah, because you're still getting on base. You're still getting to second, to third. And then eventually you run home. You just got to get on base and be in the game. Because if you're striking out, trying to go for home, you're not going anywhere. Your batting average is going to be shit. But if you can get a single, that's winning. A double, winning.
Dude, it's so powerful. I learned this principle not too long ago, and I apply it in everything. Even like when I stop going to the gym, for example, because life gets busy, I'll be like, dude, just show up. Even if you're there 20 minutes, that's 20 minutes that you weren't there yesterday, and that's a W, man.
Yep.
And then that 20 minutes, next day is 25, and then 30, and then 50, and then you're like, oh shit, this is how you catch momentum.
Yep. You just got to be 1 degree, 1% better, and just be 100% dialed in on that. Even if you show up to the gym just to take a piss, that's still winning because you got to the gym.
You got to the gym. Yeah, dude. And sometimes we get caught up in this game that, that 10, 20, 30 steps, and we forget that you have to take that other step first. You're not jumping 100 steps, just 1 step at a time.
Right. And thing is, people forget this perspective-wise. Steps add up. You're climbing a staircase. You're miserable in the moment. But after about 30 minutes of going up a whole entire staircase, you're like, oh shit, I'm like 500 flights up. Instead of focusing on where we're going, just be 100% right there in that moment. Hit that next step. Hit that next step. Just focus on that one thing. And that's game right there.
Yeah.
Because you're going to show up every day for yourself, 100%. Even if it's just one thing that you're doing different. Going to the gym for 20 minutes. Going to the gym for 5 minutes. You still got to the gym. That's winning. Then you build on it. And I love that concept. Because we can do big shit, small steps at a time. That's how I approach life. Dude, I told you a little bit about all the projects that I'm working on, all the clients. It's all accumulation of all the simple and small things that I did and I do every day. I know that I can't be good at selling a product if I'm not good up here. So what do I got to do to be good up here? Got to take care of myself physically, spiritually, emotionally. So I go for my walk in the morning with my boys, my 2 dogs. Physically, I fucking hate the Stairmaster, but I pump out 200 flights of stairs on that bitch because I know that the endorphins and the exercise good for my body can help me out long term. That gets me also less stressed, which then means when I do the spiritual stuff, when I connect with God, I'm listening more because I'm not distracted by the caffeine in my system, my body being sore, or whatever. Good. So everything stacks up to the big one, and it's all one simple step every day.
Wow.
We all do the same thing. You do it every day in the shop, dude. Yeah. Like, you are building an empire, and it's beautiful to observe.
Dude, so good. And for everybody that's listening, that last minute that Vic just spoke right here, man, if you just do that, game changer, bro. Like, literally what you just described, those 3 steps, is why I'm here right now. People think it's the art or it's the shoes. Like, as a matter of fact, like right now where we are in the company right now, I don't get to do shoes. I'm focused on really trying to grow this thing. I got employees. Like, sometimes I don't have that creativity to even sit down and work on my own shoe.
Right.
Because I'm focused on other things. But once I started connecting all those 3 things together, dude, it was like, man, like there's something to this. And no matter what, even how hard life gets, I always stay aligned on those 3 things.
100%. And you will be unstoppable. You are unstoppable.
And people notice.
I know.
People notice, bro. Like, and it's like I don't want to say that people notice that they're sending you a text or letting you know. It's like a subtle notice, and you're like, yeah, I know, and you know. And to me, it's powerful, bro, because now I even notice some of my clients and friends that like we've talked. I'm an observer. I've noticed that they notice, and I know that they're doing things, and I'm like, okay, I get you. Like, I know why you do that.
Yep.
It's not like you're crazy. I just get it because I got my own thing too. And it helps you, like, dude, it keeps you aligned.
Oh, absolutely. When you can watch somebody else do it and you start understanding the why behind everything, it's a game changer,
it's
man.
It's a game changer, bro.
I love watching the big entrepreneurs and just people in general. I'm a watcher as well. And you start seeing patterns and you start seeing behavior. And you're like, all right, this is going to work out because everything lines up and it's stacked well. And you see somebody who's like kind of there, kind of not. You're like, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe you're going to do it different. And you start noticing trends. You start seeing people who are lined up, or you see people that are not so lined up, and then people that are completely out of whack.
And you can tell it's subtle too when they do those things, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the little changes, man. The little changes. It's powerful. The smallest of things can give you away.
Yeah.
Or the smallest of things can build you up to such a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah. Well, and right now with all the craziness that's going on, everybody needs to find their way, like figure out what's going to help them out to operate at that higher frequency. But you have to, bro. Like, I see people and I'm like, I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, dude, how do you live? Because it's like, dude, like, I mean, I know you walk your dogs, dude. I know, like, I understand that, bro. When I don't walk my dog, I'm anxious, bro. I'm like, dude, I need to, like, go. Because it's like, it's those moments that brings me back to those grounding feelings. One thing that I've been doing, and I don't know if you know anything about this, but it's that I've been taking my shoes off and walking on grass. Do you know anything about that?
It's a magnetic field and the energy exchange.
Really? I just started doing it because I heard somebody saying it. I'm like, dude, I'm going to do it. And it started feeling good. but I don't know what he does.
So, mind you, I read this a while ago, so my memory's not the greatest. When you're barefoot in the grass, you you positively charge yourself of all the negative that you pick up as you're going through and doing life. So putting bare feet to grass is like a recharge for you. It drains all the negative energy out and basically recycles you with positive, which is why you're feeling good when you do it. It's a magnetization of you on an energetic level.
Dude, and I've noticed too, because this is why I decided to really do it. I remember now. My dog, he likes to roll on grass. And I'm like, all right, dude, like, what's the deal with it? And then, like, I was probably high, bro. I don't know. I was like, I'm going to take my shoes off and kind of, like, do that. But, dude, it feels so good. Mm-hmm. Powerful.
Oh, it is. So, there's a strong man. His name is Robert Oberst. He had this ritual that any country he went to for a competition, first thing he would do is take his shoes off into grass, off of a 14-hour flight. You wonder why. Because
what's his name again?
Robert Oberst. He's up in Idaho. He's got the strongest shoulders in America. Has like the log press record, whatever. Funny guy to watch on social media. But this was his ritual. Every time he'd fly to another country or anywhere, first thing he would do is take his shoes and socks off, put his bare feet on the grass in whatever country he was in. It's a powerful process and technique because you're basically recharging yourself. You're recycling all the negative out and putting in the positive.
Wow.
Now imagine, and I love dogs because they're the most natural, loving creatures on this earth. They're always so happy and loving. They're never stressed out unless we make them stressed out. So you wonder, after they're rolling around on the grass so much, they're high. They're so happy, excited, relaxed. There's a power to it that you noticed because they're basically recharging themselves constantly, getting all the surface area covered. Something to be said about that.
Dude, so good, man. Like, and you know, this is why I love like doing this podcast because it's all about helping people and helping them level up and get better. And I believe that these are the type of conversations you need to have with people, regardless of, you know, if they believe in something or not. I feel like these are the conversations that change the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you can start relating to things and understand why you do certain things.
Oh, absolutely, man. We can't just go through life in autopilot, not ever having those deep combos, just because we're beyond shallow. We're deep human beings. And this kind of stuff changes the world just by somebody listening and saying, hey, you don't know me, but your words had a positive impact in my life. Wow. You saved me from jumping off the bridge. Just by having a conversation that has outreach to people. That's impact. That's purpose.
Yeah.
That's why I love what you do, man. Everything that you do has a piece of your soul and energy in it. And that's very apparent. And if people don't recognize that, that's their loss. But I see it.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, man, this journey with what I've been building here with GMRT and everybody that's part of it, it's like years, man. Mm-hmm. Like, it don't matter, like, every shoe that leaves this studio, I'm always like, you know, like, I overthinking, man, is this good enough? Can they see what I see? That's my biggest thing. Mm-hmm. So I have this thing that every shoe comes with a plaque. And we tell the story behind the shoe. Nice. And I reread that thing like at least 20 times, bro. I'm like, did I miss anything? Because I want, when people get the shoe, I want them to really understand why that is like that. What is this like believe, like, okay, shit, like this is what went to create this thing. And it's all part of what we talked about doing those three things.
Right.
Doing those three things, man, it helps me stay so aligned and stay in the course, because I know that if I stay on the course, like I'll be able to get to that goal that I want to get to.
100%. And that's you just being aligned with yourself. Simple as that. And yet sometimes life happens and we complicate it. We forget, we get distracted.
Yeah. And it's easy too to get distracted, man.
So I have this theory about good habits, bad habits, and how it's so easy to get rid of good habits because bad habits are so easy to pick up. Think about it this way. The most important things are the things that we do every day, that we show up for every day because of the value that we're putting into it, the value that it has. It's like gold. You might have a chunk of gold. It might be covered in dirt. So every day you show up, you rub a little bit more dirt off and you see a little bit more gold. Now, it's a lot easier to not show up and clean off the dirt, because if you don't do that, life happens, whatever, a little dust settles on it, a little bit more dust the next day. The value, though, is still the same. That gold is still there. And so we just showing up every day and doing the simple thing, because we get to the important part of it, which is cleaning off all the little nooks and crannies to get that chunk of gold that's going to change our life. Same thing with good habits. They're so easy to break because dust collects from everywhere. We're surrounded in a whole room full of dust. That's life. The important thing is showing up every day and just getting a little bit, 1% more, just a little bit more, polishing it, wiping it up, cleaning it, because at the end of the day, that's the value that we're putting into it connection-wise. We're investing our soul into whatever it is that we do.
Wow. Dude, that's really good, man. This is why I love having conversations like this, man, because you're helping me right now to get better. And this is, I hope like when people are listening to this, you understand that no matter what you're doing in life, if you apply this, it's gonna work. And it doesn't mean it's easier. I'm sure you have bad days.
Oh,
more than good days.
Every day is a choice to make it a good day.
Exactly, but if you can stay aligned and just be a good person in general, man, you're just gonna be happier, and you'll realize that, okay, like this is a long journey. Let me enjoy the moment right now, dude. That's something that I do like a lot now on everything, bro. Like even like doing this podcast on Sunday. When I was planning this whole thing out, and I haven't shared this story here publicly, this will be the first time. It's like, I had this thing that I thought I had to do it on a Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me why, bro. I'm like, I got to shoot on a Tuesday at noon. And I was like, why? I went on a walk, started thinking, why do I have to do it on a Tuesday at noon? And I'm like, no, you don't have to do it on a Tuesday at noon. Then I started like meditating. I'm like, okay, what day can I fit this so it stays like a commitment? Kind of what you're saying, prioritizing things. Mm-hmm. And then I started looking at my schedule. Sunday after church, dude. And I literally, go get recharged at church. I prep for an hour I look at what my guest is all about, like, so I know. And then I come and have the greatest time. Mm-hmm. And it's by doing all those little things, you realize that, man, like enjoying this moment it's what makes life happier, because you're only living this one time. It could all be done tomorrow.
Right.
And it changes the whole game, at least to me.
No, I'm the same way, man. I love my dogs because they help me remember that. Everything I do is trying to stay 100% in this moment, recharged, connected, because we're so easy and distracted to get disconnected. So imagine every day is church, and every day you're just operating at a passion, and you're just hitting it, and it's beautiful, no matter what's going on, because you are the driving force behind it all. You're the guy that's in the driver's seat. You're the one that's bringing all the passion in. You're the one that's creating the vision that you got. And every day is beautiful, regardless of the shit show that happens.
Yep.
Because every day you choose, you can focus on the negative, but how much more sweeter is the beauty, the positive? It's a lot sweeter. It makes the days bearable. You can find beauty in the most negative of spaces. You can find light in the most negative of spaces, simply by just choosing to. And that's a power that you develop and you have every day. And you're doing it, man, every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the way I like to explain people, it's like you're creating a cake. Mm-hmm. You have this recipe. And you add this, you add that. It's like, that's how things start happening. It's just, you have a bunch of things that create this perfect recipe. But the moment you remove something out of the equation, oof, something's not right.
Yeah.
And then you can go back, okay, well, what did I stop doing? Oh, and then you can pinpoint. To me, like one of those things, like I set a lot of things in my life to help me stay on track. And, you know, I've noticed, for example, if I stop doing my bed 2 days in a row, something's wrong. Why am I stop doing the basic that I already know I got to do? That's the first W of the day, bro.
Yep.
You're not going to do your bed. To me, it's like little things like that I set up. And once I figured that out, bro, it was like a superpower.
You're onto something very powerful and profound that not a lot of people realize. Starting the day, the first 30 minutes every day with a W is powerful. It's profound. Because if you start stacking up the little wins every day, it's a snowball effect. You cannot lose if you start the day with a win, because you're training yourself. I win every single day. Imagine the power of that, where the little thing you got, making your bed, brushing your teeth, taking the dog out, W, 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 W. It just keeps coming. That's a profound, profound power that very few realize.
Dude, it's powerful, dude. Like I do all of that, man, and I've noticed like just having those W's, even as small as they seem, bro, I feel like I'm the man. You know, and then once something comes up, I'm like, it's cool. I'll get after it.
Yep.
But my other question that I had for you, like, you know, like you help people get better, but you also do other stuff. Other cool stuff. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I've got a couple companies and a couple things that I do. One is I'm actually training my dogs to be search and rescue certified.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got 2 Malinois, and God, they're psycho. But they're lovable and very well behaved, and they're so good at tracking. So I work on that. So we work a little bit every day on search and rescue, just tracking, scent training, things like that. And eventually I'm just going to loan them out or go out and do it myself with them, just so that way we can help find people in the process. That's one of my passions. Another one is I help businesses scale and grow. I have my experience in the past from my corporate career where I've taken a couple companies into, we'll say, the high double million digit area, just from very little. There's one company that I, over a course of a year and a half, went from 50K revenue to it's like 27, 28 million by the time I left and ended my work with them. And so I see things differently. I see little trends and things like that, social behavior, psychology, all that. And I use it to help companies grow. And I'm currently scaling my friend's company right now. And we have a big deal in the works just by simple connections and collaborations. And I love that. I love helping people win, because for me, that's winning. It's like I'm making a positive impact in the world, and I love it. I also coach people. And not the mindset type of coaching, business coaching, leadership coaching. My experience in the corporate career was leading a whole group of teams and helping people realize and actualize every single potential that they have. So when you can do that and help other leaders do that, you're changing the world in a very positive way. A lot of relationships, I've realized, especially nowadays with social media, is it's very transactional. You do this for me, you get this. I'm not a fan of that.
Dude, and I see that, especially like right now, bro, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Everyone wants something and they're going to do an exchange. So leadership can't be like that. Leadership can't be, I tell you to do this and you're going to get this, because it just gets very low level results. When you have a leader that says, hey, I see you for all your potential. You're doing this job right here. I'm giving you some more resources so you can go beyond 100%. That's transformational. And every single person has that capability to be that type of leader. But unfortunately, they're either taught to do the opposite of that, to have that transactional relationship, or there's something in their life that they're choosing to focus on negatively that's impacting them from being the best leader that they can. That's where I come in, because I do mindset work with them. I help them realize, okay, why are you choosing to be a shitty leader? It's all by choice. So what's the decision? And then they go, oh, Well, I was taught this. Okay, why did you believe whoever taught you how to be a leader? Did they do it well? No. Well, then there you go. Why are you doing exactly what they did? I don't know. Okay. Helping change that on the corporate level. So that way, moving forward, all the leaders in the world are doing transformational work, that every single employee isn't miserable. Instead, they're very happy, dedicated. They're showing up 100%. That's true change. And that's an impact in the world that I'm passionate about.
So good. So, dude, you just said that, yeah, because one of my biggest stress, believe it or not, is that my employees happy. I always think about that.
That's a powerful question to have, man.
Even, dude, like this week, so my team works out of here. I worked in the studio, and they all leave. And then every time in the morning, we all say hi to each other. And when they leave, we all say bye to each other.
Right.
So, and then I say bye to, they went into the office, they said bye. And then I was working still. But yeah, my right hand said bye. And I don't know, like 5 minutes later, I noticed, yo, he said bye, but there was something off. But I didn't notice that like right away. It was just like 5 minutes later. And I literally straight up called him. And hey, bro, like, he's like, hey, what's up? Dude, are you okay? And he's like, wait, what do you mean, what? Dude, I just, sorry I was busy when you said bye, but now that I'm thinking about it, something seemed off. And dude, he was like, bro, I just, you know what? I just had a rough night. And I was, ready to go to bed or something. I don't know. But it means a lot that you call. That just, those 3 words that he said, 4 words, whatever, meant everything to me. Because if there was something wrong, I was seriously concerned. Right. I'm like, bro, did I mess up? Did I said something that hurt your feelings? Is there something going on right now here that I need to be aware? Because that's another thing. Like, I empower my people to, like, I don't need to know everything, bro. I'm trusting you. That's why you're the fucking man. That's why I have you here. Like, you take care of shit. If something that I know that yeah, I have to solve it, yeah, let me know. But if it's stupid, like, yeah, I know you can handle it, and you empower people, it's game changer.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine you're operating at 100% all the time. That's what you're doing for them. You've also probably experienced those shitty leaders and managers that,
fuck yeah.
It's like, no, you need to do exactly as I say. Did you do it? Bro, chill the fuck out, man.
I've had those. That's why I don't want to be that.
Right. So props to you for choosing to do the exact opposite of what you were trained and taught, because you saw their example.
And it feels weird, though. It does feel weird. It does,
because it's different.
Yeah.
You've seen something and you've been programmed that this is the norm, and now you're doing something completely different.
Yeah.
So it is going to feel weird, and that's okay, until the weird starts to feel normal. And that's where you know that it's fully ingrained in you. Now, I've always, this is how I gauge leadership, right? Can you find the person and leave them better than when you found them? That is transformational leadership. If they're the same or negative, less so, then that's transactional. If you're leaving them better than when you found them, even if you give them a difficult task, like, hey, I'm sorry this is getting dumped on you. However I can help you, let me know. You have my resources. I'm empowering you to handle this. I've got your back. 3 words, I've got your back. 4 words, whatever. You know how powerful that is for an employee? So you asking them, you could even try this. Every week, do like a little 5-minute sync with them. Hey, how's it going? Anything that I can help or improve on to be a better leader for you? And hear what they say. I bet you $10, you'll hear really good feedback. You also might hear some things that might be painful, but that's what leadership is. I'm
going to do that. We started this thing that every Thursday we go have breakfast.
Nice.
And they handle where we're going. They just let me know where we're going to go, and then I'll take them to have breakfast. And one of the things that I do, that is just kind of catch up with, okay, this is where we are, but I also want to know what's going on in their life. I'm like, yo, what's going on? You guys dating? Like, yo, like, yeah, be careful with that guy. Like, I'll give him game too. I'm like, yeah, like, don't get used, but I'm gonna try that, man, because I feel like there's not a scarcity of good people out there. Mm-mm. People just need good leaders that can coach them up and bring them up. Like I want everybody that works with me, they need to grow with me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be the only one leveling up. That sucks.
Oh yeah.
Because the conversations we're gonna have here, I want you to tell me, we're gonna take over the world.
Right.
When you try to if you don't bring your people up, they're gonna think you're crazy. Once you start bringing them up with you and seeing that, oh shit, he says, we do it and then we get it done. It changes the whole game, bro.
Oh, it does. So I know a lot of people hate on Christianity, especially on Jesus. He was one of the OGs when it came to leadership because he lifted people up as he was leading them. I'm not going to apologize when I say that's pretty transformational leadership right there. If the guy who's supposed to die for the sins of the earth is still going to lift people up even to the very moment where he's about to get killed.
Wow, so good.
So I always, someone always asks me, who's a great leader example? Jesus. They go, what the fuck? Why? It's like exactly that. He lifted people up. He took a fisherman, made him an apostle.
Yeah.
He said, here, I believe in you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to teach you. If I have to be harsh with you sometimes, that's fine. I'm not doing it out of malice or evil. I'm doing it because I love you and I see the potential in you. And whatever I can do to help you to achieve that, I will do it. That's transformational leadership. That's change in a positive way. He did that for 12 people and then, humongous amount of people after that.
Yeah.
That's the type of leader that you be. Is, hey, you're here. How do I get you to be higher? What do you need from me? What can I do for you? What can I teach you? Having those conversations, asking them, what do you want to learn? Or where do you feel that you're not strong in, that I can help you, teach you, mentor you? That's transformational. Or better yet, who do we got to hire or bring in to teach us to all level up in the same way? Because I guarantee you, as you're leveling them up, they're leveling you up. And as you're leveling up, you're going to level them up.
Yeah.
You're all yoked like ox. You're all yoked together. And on a ship, you don't have one person that's paddling off. No, everyone gets in sync. And everyone rows the same beat. Because you're all going to get to the same destination. Some might be sitting closer on the boat to the destination, but at the same time, you guys are all in the same boat. Once that boat hits land, you guys got there. It's a team growth. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal.
He changed the game for me once it went from I could understand how to lead people better. Mm-hmm. It changed the whole game.
Oh yeah,
dude. But I wanna touch back really quick because you were talking about mindset before on Can you give me a few things from that, because I'm thinking about this. You said you helped a company from $50K to triple or quadruple that.
Yeah.
So going back to that, I know that was 10 minutes ago, but I wanna ask you this. So can you point out what were something simple that you let them know it's you have it, you're just fucking up here.
Yeah.
Because even myself, I complicate the fucking game all the time. Uh-huh. And sometimes I'm like, dude, why am I complicating this? And then I go back to basics and then, there you go. Can you give us some game here?
Yeah. All right. So I do a lot of psychological analysis. I do a lot of observation, trend analysis, things like that. With this company, they were fucking up their promos really bad because they missed out on important holidays relevant to the market. So I noticed that there was a certain product that had a huge markup of inventory during a certain period of time. We were always stocking out. I contacted one of the natives there. I was like, hey, what holidays do you have going on around this time period? They go, it's the spring festivals that we have all around the country. It's like, pause. Festivals? She goes, yeah. It's something spring related, and everything citrus we always stock out on because they're always purchasing everything because you gift them to people. You gift citrus to people. I was like, pause. Okay. So that holiday was rolling around again. I was like, all right, we're quadrupling your inventory, and this is the promo that we're going to run. The citrus trio for this one time period, like a month period where you're gifting people citrus flavored things, right? We stocked out even with the quadruple inventory that I sent over there. Stocked out completely. I was pulling from other countries to supplement what they had going on. All because I took a little bit of time away from the direct process of selling and scaling to look at the bigger picture. Where are the little blips that are the oddities or the outliers in the behavior, and why? What did I need to change in that moment that would have a positive impact for the growth of the market? So that's what I did. I looked at the bigger picture and I looked at the little behavior changes. And this is the same thing you can do with business, employees, and all that. What are the little behavior changes? You don't need to make anything big or epic. Something small. What's the small change behavior-wise that I need to make to be a better leader? Maybe it's instead of being on the phone, when my employees are walking in the door, I start putting the phone down and I look them eye to eye when they walk in. Hey, how's it going? Instead of, hey, how's it going? It's a game changer because the relationship starts improving. So with that company, I also did another thing. So it was a direct sales company, and it was very much oriented off of the consumers selling the product. And in the country that we were in, specifically for this country, from the corporate side, they couldn't sell at all. So it had to be directly from the consumers, the advocates for it. So with this group of, I'm going to say 2,000 people, I asked the first question, who are you? They say, oh, we're advocates. I was like, no. Who are you? I don't know. What do you want? What's the answer you're looking for? It's like, why are you here? Why are you so passionate about this? Oh, because it changed my life. Okay. That's who you need to promote at yourself as. The person whose life was changed by this product. You need to live and breathe this product in terms of the impact, the influence, and the direction that it's had in your life. These people were very passive in their sales. They're just, 30, 40-year-old women, men, doing their thing, engaging various. I told them, on social media, you tell people why you're so passionate about this and the positive impact that it's had on your life. And every time you're doing a weekly training, inviting people, say, hey, I know that I've talked to you about this before, but just come listen to see how it's had an impact in my life. Utilizing their story, their experiences, and empowering them to really be the person selling the product in the sense that this changed my life, I want it to change your life.
Wow. So
Quadrupled everything. Dude, I was stocked out for months. I pulled from a country that I cannot name. We don't technically have, we didn't have any influence or any sort of products in the country. I pulled about 1 million units over 1 month.
Wow.
One time. It was insane. Like I was like, I need these tomorrow. So which plane are we hopping on?
Wow.
Yeah.
So good. Well, so just to wrap out here, good conversations, man.
Pleasure.
Thank you for giving us some game. But one of the last questions that I like to ask everybody that comes here, and it's interesting because I want to say I kind of know the answer now, but because I seen people almost say the same thing, but I want to get your perspective. What's something that you're grateful for right now in your life?
We were talking about this earlier, how everything's cyclical and, this is kind of an interesting time period for us. I'm grateful for the people that believe in me enough to be there for me when the times get tough. Because I have very few of those in my life. And I've taken a lot of lumps. Like I've taken a lot of personal hits over the last couple months. And the people who believe in me enough to let me be weak in front of them. Because as an entrepreneur, as a man, you have to have it all together.
Yeah.
And I've had my moments of weakness where I'm like, fuck, am I doing the right thing? And those people have consistently said, I believe that you're doing the right thing. And if you need to feel weak right now, then feel weak and you're safe. And for me, that's a game changer. And for that, I'm forever grateful for those moments, because even in my worst moments, somebody believes in me and the vision that I have, that I doubt sometimes even as a mindset coach. I doubt it sometimes. Am I really doing the right thing? Am I really helping the people that I help? And it's the little reminders of, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Even if it's a text message from someone who, gives you a little fresh up on the purpose. But it's the people supporting you when the times get tough. That is what I'm grateful for right now.
So good, man. It's so good because, man, like, the way that you're saying all of that, man, I relate to it, man. I have people in my life right now that I can rely on, and I can be open, vulnerable. Because, yeah, dude, this is a reason why I also wanted to start this podcast, because in the world, they make you think that as a man, you gotta have all your shit figured out.
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't met anybody that has it all figured out. They can pretend they do,
yep.
But even though that we know that's not true, there's still people out there that they still think everybody has it figured out, and then it brings them down because you're like, dude, I don't have anything figured out. And here's the thing, man, if you can be vulnerable with people, man, people that you trust, is game changer, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you feel like you're not alone. Man, I got people that believe in me.
Mm-hmm. And that is a game changer, like you said. Even in the darkest moments, you still see that light.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, and I bet you have this experience as well, it's those moments, they get dark, they get real dark.
Oh, yeah.
And when someone's like, I believe in you, I believe in the vision. There's Alex Hormozy, he's this influencer.
Yeah.
I empathize with one story that he shares about him and his missus, where he just sent off all the money that he had in the business because he owed it to one of his sales reps. And he says, I went to her and I said, I'm a sinking ship. I wouldn't blame you if you left. In fact, I'm telling you, it's probably a good idea to leave me and go. And then he says, she grabs him by the face and says, I would sleep with you under a bridge. It's that kind of support that keeps you alive. It's empowering.
So good. Well, dude, just to finalize here, like I said, thank you for coming. Thanks you for giving us game. I encourage everybody to go back and even listen to what he said, because it was very profound, and it's game changer. But just to wrap it up, give us your social media, your website, your social security number, bank account, whatever you want to give us.
I mean, I will always happily take, my bad, Venmo, happy, Vfra89, always happy.
Dude, that's a good one. I need to start putting out my Venmo out there.
Hey, man, you'd be surprised how many people would just random drop you Venmos.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. Actually, I don't even remember my social handle, honestly.
Okay, we'll have Ulises, my video guy, put an edit right here. It'll be right here, his social.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It goes to show how much I pay attention to social media shit. I just try to add value and nuggets there, so if a like comes along my way, I'm more than happy. But, man, thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you, bro. Thank you. All right, guys, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.